Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Cinderella Diaries. So, today I'm going to be talking about living your life as the black sheep. What is the black sheep? The black sheep is somebody who does not fit the status quo, who always stands out, who people always have to make feel like they just don't belong. They're eccentrics, they're weird. Um, they're just not the norm. So growing up, I was always the black sheep, no matter where I went. I mean, I had a few good friends, but I moved or they went off and did other things. But um, I was always into like movies and plays and acting and different things like that, and singing and dancing. And a lot of people are not into those things because, well, a lot of people don't sing or dance or don't have that talent. So they don't, they're not into that. Not throwing shade, but it's just the reality of it. So you get to a point where I got to a point where I was like, okay, I'm gonna be by myself. I'm just gonna be a loner. So that's what happened. I just decided to live my own life and become a loner. And growing up, like in high school and stuff, I of course have had friends and people knew who I was, but I don't think I was like popular. I think that I was more just like known because I was social and friendly, but I don't know if I was like popular. My husband says you were kind of popular. Everybody, people knew you, but I don't know. I just feel like I was just kind of like, like just me floating. So anyway, high school, I was always like, I guess, the leader of my group, the leader of my pack. And I was always like the stay and watch when girls would be like hooking up with guys or whatever the case may be. I'd just be kind of off to myself because I was always into the arts and I couldn't afford like art programs. I couldn't really afford going to different programs because I was raised by a single mother and she did, she was working and all that other stuff. So it was hard to get to those type of programs and we didn't have like a support system that was like, okay, I'll come pick you up from school and do all those things. So I had to just get where I could fit in. I would do plays and different things like that. I would do writing programs, but they were like short writing programs. They weren't really like, serious. Until I was like, okay, I'm just a little weirdo. When I got to college, I was definitely weird. I was a virgin in college, and I don't know why I put that in quotes. I was a virgin in college, and I was just very like to myself and different things like that. And everybody knew that I wasn't having sex and I was a virgin. So that was the whole thing. And so I was this outcast. Girls were jealous, and guys were trying to have sex with me, and it was just like a bunch of chaos. So I always just kind of like stayed to myself because I always chose a different route. And I think that's what every black sheep goes through, where you just choose a different route. And my family, on my paternal side, I'm the black sheep because my father doesn't claim me. I'm the illegitimate child. So, everybody like wants to see how I churned out, but like kind of distant, so nobody really cares. On my maternal side, I was the black sheep because I was always nice and helpful and wanting to be around family and stuff like that. And they just were like, they were always teamed up. Everybody had like, I was like the only, my maternal side, my mother's siblings all had one child. And so my mother's sib was the only person who had the second child, and it was me. And ever since I was born, my mom always said, I made you, I had you just so your sister wouldn't be lonely. And so because everybody else had only one child, so they were like close to their daughters, or everybody was like close knit, and I was just like this awkward person that nobody wanted to be around or nobody cared about. So I just became the black sheep. It's not like I'm a victim or anything. It's just a simple fact that it is what it is. I liked weird things like Star Wars, sing-alongs, and Mary-Kate and Ashley, and just different weird things, I guess, like the normal black girl doesn't like. So I was like the awkward black girl. And people were critical of that, especially my family. And I was always the black sheep, and they would criticize me, and I would always return with love, or it's okay, don't worry about it. I would forgive quickly. Anytime that I fought back, they would get upset, or they would be like, I had a mental illness or I was crazy. So I just kind of stayed to myself, because I thought like, okay, there's something wrong with me. I'm not like them. And as I grew up and I realized the decision that they made and the people that they turned out to be and the decisions that I made and the person that I turned out to be, that I was not actually the black sheep. But, you know, that's life. Standing out can be great at times, but everybody, I feel like when you're the black sheep, everybody is like looking at you to see you fail. They want to like find a flaw in you. They're always looking for flaws, and they're always looking for like, oh, what you're gonna say. I know, like, when I go around, now I'm married and I'm an adult, and I'm kind of the outcast because I'm an outspoken woman, or I don't gossip, you know, with other women, or I don't like put people down or put other women down. And so I don't really fit into a lot of those circles. So I just kind of stay to myself. And I'm in a multicultural relationship, and you know, my husband and I were just different. And when we go back home, we are always different. We're always the couple that stands out, that are, you know, like a sore thumb, because it's either like all black couples or all white couples or all Hispanic couples. You know, it's not interracial a lot of the time, so we're always like that. We always stand out. And it's just, I guess, just my life has always been like, I stand out because I don't choose to like live my life like everybody else. It has been hard. I mean, it's not like the road that I've traveled has been easy, but I chose the path that where I knew I was going to be happy, and I knew that I was going to be who I wanted to be. And even though that I am the black sheep, or you know, I stand out in every family that I am, or every friendship that I stand out, you know, that I'm in, I just try to like blah blah blah. Every friendship that I stand out and that I'm in, I just try to remember that, you know, it's all for a purpose, that I'm supposed to be, you know, I'm not supposed to fit the status quo. I'm not supposed to be normal, because, you know, normal people don't, you know, get on YouTube and record themselves talking. Normal people don't, you know, model and you know, do all these other things. So I have to realize that maybe I'm just not normal. And so if you feel that way, where you just like, you feel like no matter where you go, like you never fit in, like nobody gets your sense of humor, nobody understands like your jokes or anything like that, like there's gonna come a time where people are gonna understand who you are. And when it comes to like my husband is like my best friend, so him being my best friend, he gets my jokes, he gets my moodiness, he gets all of the things that I am, and I get his personality as well. And I don't feel like the black sheep in my family. You know, my little guy Cairo, he's so funny, he's so goofy, and he's clumsy, and he's lovable, and he's just like us. And every time I'm home, I'm just like, this is my family, this is where I belong. And so that time is coming for you. I know it looks like it's hard, you're struggling. Maybe you're because you set out on your own. Maybe you're living in a hotel. Maybe you are homeless, or maybe you have just been kicked out of your family, or whatever the case may be. Just hold on, because there's going to be a time where you're going to fit in, and it's going to be for the right reason. You know, you're in any room that you're in there for a reason, and don't let anybody try to tell you anything differently. People who are the same, they laugh at people who are different, because, you know, they don't have anything or any quirks about them, and nobody found them special, which is a lie, because everybody's special under God, right? But like, when it comes to you and our personalities as being black sheep, we're just the people that stand out. We're special. We have talents. We can be entrepreneurs. We make things shake. We're thoughtful. We're empathetic. You know, we care about the world. We care about the society that we live in. We care about our neighbors. We care about our friends, our family. And, you know, that's okay. You know, you are okay to be that person. So don't let anybody tell you that you're weird or you're different, because you know, like, it's okay to be those things, and it's okay to be weird, the good weird, you know, like it's okay to stand out and be eccentric and love on yourself and love on everybody else that's eccentric. You know, we all come from a place or a background where we're different, or we've learned teachings that, you know, when you go out to the world, your mind changes and your thoughts on people change, and you become more just open and to, you know, just open to life and society. And that makes you and it builds your character. So don't worry about if you're, you know, you're a teenager, maybe your family is always fighting, always arguing, or always being manipulative, guilt tripping you, making you feel bad. Maybe you're being raised by narcissistic people. Then like, and then you're sitting here trying to understand, like, why are you acting like this? Why do you do the things that you do? Why do you say hurtful things and don't think about my feelings? Blah, blah, this. And you're sitting here like trying to figure out why you're like, you think like this. It's because you're supposed to be the one that changes your life and changes your kids' life, changes how your family thinks, changes how everybody thinks around you, because people have gotten so stagnant in what they believe in. And a lot of times failure happens. It happens a lot. I have failed so much. Hell, I failed yesterday. And, you know, like, failure happens. And I think people stick into failure thinking that, well, that's just a part of my life. I'm always going to be a failure, or I'm always going to fail. But failure is a part of life. It's training you to do whatever it is that you want to do. You can't go out and just be an actor. You know, like, even if you have the natural born talent, you still have to do the training. You still have to prepare yourself. You still have to, you know, listen to directors. You still have to, you know, take advice from other people who have done it before you. You still have to learn. And sometimes you're going to fail. Sometimes you're not going to get the roles that you want. Sometimes people are not going to want to work with you, or sometimes you're not going to want to work with certain people. It's always going to be something that's going to hinder you, but there's going to be times in your life where you're not going to be hindered, where you're going to accomplish everything that you sought out to accomplish. So you have to wait for those times and go through the nit and gritty of life, because, you know, there have been times where I had $0, negative dollars in my bank account, and I'm just sitting here like, you know, polishing my nails at home, just living my best life, and people are looking like, you're broke. Like, why are you not up and doing something? Why are you not hustling? Like, you still broke? And I would just be like, I know that God's going to take care of my needs, because God has always shown up in my life in weird situations, like where I'm like, I am not going to get out of this. There's no way possible that I'm going to get anything done. And then suddenly just something happens and God just comes into my life, where it's, you know, somebody says, oh, I owe you $100, or I fined $100, or, you know, backed up taxes, or whatever the case may be. Like, God has taken care of my life so I can do the things that I can do, the things that I want to do in life as well. And I believe that that's going to happen for you. Just push through and push through and push through. No matter how many times people tell you that you should be doing this or doing that, you should be focused on this. Focus on your dreams. I know they don't pay the bills, because a lot of times dreams don't. People who have their dreams, who are multimillionaires and successful, you know, they're very lucky and very blessed to have those things happen, because it doesn't happen for everybody. Everybody can be, you know, you can have natural born talent as a baseball player, as a basketball player, but it doesn't mean that you're going to the NBA. You know, it doesn't mean that you're going to, you know, to the league, but it doesn't mean that your life is going to end because you didn't go to the league or you didn't go to the NBA. Maybe there is a way for you to inspire other people. You have learned the lessons of what you need to learn as a, you know, as a person in sports, and maybe you can inspire other people to be, you know, to learn what they need to learn as they go through their careers in sports. So maybe you're a coach. You know, being a coach there's nothing wrong with being a coach. Head coaches make a lot of money, especially if you're a good head coach. And what makes, I think, a good head coach is being able to motivate people, learning from your mistakes, being able to, just inspire people. And that's what makes you who you are. So even if you know, you think that you peaked in high school or you peaked years ago, it's not the truth. You know, like, God has the last say so in our lives. And I know if you're not a spiritual person, maybe you're like, well, God has never shown up, or God has never answered my prayers, but he is there. He's listening. Sometimes God just sits back and let us do what we need to do, you know, while we fall on our faces or fail and we are going back to him. He wants us to have this relationship. He wants us to want him to be in our lives. So we have to accept that. And you living as the black sheep is not a bad thing. It's okay that you never fit in. It's okay that you're different and you stood out, because you're probably the person that's going to change the world. So if you're an activist and people are like, oh, you're crazy, the things that you say, or you want the world to be this way, it's never going to be that way. But you're going to be the voice that changes it. Maybe you are a writer and you want black women to be in romance and you have romance movies. Shout out to me. Keep hustling and keep writing, because there's going to be an avenue for that. Black Girl Magic and Black Lives Matter and being an African American, as we have an African American woman in the White House, our voices are being amplified in many ways. And so we have the choice to keep going. No matter who you are, just keep going and keep going and keep going. I know it's hard. I know there are days that you're like, I'm so lonely. Why am I by myself? Why don't people want to come around me? Blah, blah, this. And sometimes it's because that you have this talent and you're just this weird thinker that people don't feel comfortable around you. Or maybe they feel intimidated by you. But there's nothing wrong with you. Keep being who you are, because we need people like you. We need game changers. We need people who are free thinkers. We need people who are going to think one way and then change their thoughts and think another way, because they move the system. They move the world around. People who are entrepreneurs. People, America is built on entrepreneurship. Whether we want to, acknowledge that it was bad entrepreneurship, slavery was terrible. But post-slavery, when every man was free and they were able to, start their own businesses and, just do things to make America a better country. That's what it's about. And we're all in this melting pot. We're all different. We all come from different backgrounds. We're all different colors, all different races, creeds. We all have different religions. We all believe in certain things, but we can make this country flow. And in this time of quarantine, it's so hard to even think that, I should start my business or I should start doing something creative, because so many people are failing right now. So many people are relying on the government. So many people are relying on, day-to-day checks, because of this whole COVID thing has shut things down. But you don't have to, don't worry about that, because things will change. Everything changed. Even COVID's going to change. They have a vaccine. Now you can go get vaccinated. And, eventually I think that people are going to, we're going to start getting healthier. The country's going to get better. They're going to be, people have been sitting at home thinking of ideas, and new products and new things are going to shape this world. And that's what we're going to look forward to. So don't stress yourself out. Don't worry about what everybody else is saying, and just enjoy who you are. And love yourself, okay? Because being the black sheep is nothing's wrong. I'm sorry, my neighbors I think they're having a party, so I'm gonna stop recording. But just accept yourself as the black sheep, and it's okay to stand out, even if you're the black sheep in your family, even if you're the black sheep in your job, whatever. It's because you are the leader, and you are what's gonna promote and bring whatever group, whatever organization, whatever you're part of, forward. And you're not a disgrace, you're not a loser, you're not a failure. You're just different, and it's okay to be different. All right, so thank you so much. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell right at the top so you can get all my latest videos on the Cinderella Diaries. Thank you so much for watching. Mwah.